Hey, warriors. I want to talk about real spirituality and not that fluffy, glittery kind version, think positive that they're selling you on the internet. I'm talking about, where you crawl through hell for decades and, scratching and pulling your way through, shaking your bloody hand with your shadows. And then, you find your light, find your way back to it. Real spirituality isn't learned, it's remembered. I say this constantly. Everyone wants the awakening, but nobody wants the part where your life falls apart first. You know? Um, but that's where the truth happens. You know? That's where the old identities die. That's where, every illusion burns off until all that's left is, you know, you, raw, exposed, bare, brutally honest for the first time ever with yourself. People think, spirituality is light, but the light is actually what you discover after the dark cracks you open, you know? Um, and here's the part that gets me every time. In the darkest moments, when every part of you, your every part of you is just shattered and you swear that you are fucking done. There's this little tiny spark inside you that just refuses to die. That spark, that's the real you. That's your higher self. That's the eternal part, the eternal you. The part of you that never forgot who you really are. And that spark, dude, it's so powerful, so ancient, so bright. It can guide you home from anywhere. And that's not faith. Again, that's remembering. Real spirituality is messy. It's not fucking marketable. It doesn't look cute. It's not staged, crystals on a white table with soft music and candles. And some influencer, telling you how you're high vibrational. It's getting so stupid. It's crying on the floor, facing your old patterns, owning your pain like a motherfucking boss. Taking accountability, healing wounds you didn't cause, wounds you had nothing to do with, except for the fact that you healed them. Sitting in silence alone for years with no friends. Your family has no clue what you're going through because you put a face on for them. It's sitting in the dark long enough until the dark turns into wisdom. And then, rising. And not because somebody saved you, but because something inside you said, get the fuck up, motherfucker. We're not done. When you make it through, and you will, the light doesn't feel like something you're pretending anymore. It doesn't feel like something that you're chasing. It's something that you are. You realize the light was never outside of you. It wasn't in a book. It wasn't, a practice or a teacher or a trend. It was right here the whole time, in your chest. And once you remember that, once you remember who you are in the dark, you can't be controlled anymore. You can't be manipulated. You can't be, scared back into smallness, back into that dark ever again. You start, moving forward differently. You speak differently. You love differently. Because because now you know who the fuck you are, Real spirituality isn't, it's going into the dark, finding yourself there, um, realizing your light is so powerful, it can guide you wherever you need to go. Realizing that anything that you need is all here. It's nowhere outside of you. And that's everything. The rest are just bonus, But you don't need nothing but yourself. And then that's everything. And once you realize, all of this, then you start living from that place. I just don't. If you're in the dark right now and you're seeing all these people fucking act the way that they are and say the things that they are, I want you to know that you are not failing. You are remembering, and you're doing it the right way. Well, hell, you're doing it, period, because there is no other way. You have things are what they are. But you got all these people out here trying to make things into something that they're not. I mean, I guess that's on them. But I mean, for the people who actually give a shit and actually do want something better, that do want to remember who they are, it just pisses me off, because for people like you, I don't want you thinking that things are a certain way when then you're going to have to start all over. It's not right. I just want you guys to know that your light, if you're feeling that way, your light has not gone out. You just haven't reached the part of your story where you can see it again. And I mean again. And trust me too, your light will lead you home, legends. I love you.